Welcome to Module 5. We'll be moving from Unit 1, paragraphs, now to Unit 2, essays. So please turn to page 100. Page 99 introduces the essay, and then page 100 is the beginning of Chapter 6, the introduction to the essay. And you can see there that the goals of this chapter are to understand the parts of an essay: an introduction, developmental paragraphs, and a conclusion paragraph. So there's 5 paragraphs approximately. For our purposes, I'm going to ask you to just write 5 paragraph essays. This will be enough to prepare you well for the admissions exam at the end of this semester. So you want to pay close attention. We're going to identify and improve thesis statements, which I'm going to ask you to write as the last sentence in your introduction paragraph. It will have a controlling idea, a topic, and clearly tell what the next body paragraphs or developmental paragraphs will contain, and then it'll be repeated or rephrased in the conclusion paragraph. So we want to identify and evaluate introductory paragraphs, to write topic sentences for developmental paragraphs, and then to understand what makes a good conclusion, and then how to actually write an outline for an essay and write an essay from an outline to get down your key ideas before you actually write. So please turn to page 101 and look with me. And you'll see at the top of the page is responding to an image, and I just want you to look at this image and to simply suggest possible topics. Right? There's women in a bazaar here. Looks like lots of fresh vegetables. So I suggested already one topic for you, and I'd like you to come up with 2 more. So eating fresh bazaar vegetables versus frozen supermarket vegetables. So read at the top above the paragraph, it'll give you some ideas. Then journal writing on the same page at the bottom of page 101. I want you to just choose one of these questions here and to write a short paragraph in the module. Let's go to page 102, and I'd like to talk about just briefly about the introduction to an essay. Page 102 at the top gives the 3 parts, the 3 types of paragraphs in an essay: introduction paragraph, developmental paragraphs, right, more than one. Typically there could be anywhere from 2 to 4. And then a conclusion paragraph. And the key sentence in the introduction paragraph is going to be the thesis statement at the bottom of page 102. And good thesis statements always have these 4 characteristics. First of all, they're a complete sentence. They have a topic, right, and a controlling idea. So a subject, a verb, and then a controlling idea. And then number 2 at the top of page 103, they're always going to express an opinion, right? An opinion or an attitude or an idea. And your opinion in your thesis statement is not just stating a fact, right? It needs to be something that's going to have to be proved or explained, right? Something that you could agree or disagree with. Right? So number 4 is that it should focus only on one idea, one topic, right? And then give a controlling idea that expresses an opinion, attitude, or idea. So exercise 1 at the bottom of page 103, you just simply need to identify, do these 10 sentences. Some of them are not sentences. Are they a good thesis? And if they're not, put N for no. And if they do contain all the characteristics of a good thesis, please put Y for yes. Look on page 104. You have exercise 2, and now you're being asked to write. You have topics, and you're going to be asked to write your own thesis statement. And I've given you examples. I've written the first 2 for you there, so you can see what, if you remember what a good thesis statement looks like, then rewrite these topics. These are all topics, and they need to be turned into good thesis statements. Page 104 at the bottom, you have the introduction. It explains what an introduction paragraph should contain. And first of all, you need to introduce the topic and then explain how the topic is going to be developed, and then here it says to just include or at least imply a thesis statement, but I would like you, for the purposes of passing the admissions test, to have a very clear thesis statement at the end of your introduction paragraph. And it should be inviting, it should be interesting, and pull the reader into your essay. Get them interested in it. And if you look at the top of page 105, the funnel approach is a funnel shape. It starts off broad or more general and then becomes very focused at the end. So you're going to start your introduction paragraph with a broad statement and then become more focused with some details about your key idea, your main idea, and then your thesis statement will be the last sentence in your introduction paragraph. So they give an example here of the funnel approach, and you can take a look at page 105, and then 106 is exercise 3, and exercise 3, right, you need to look at the first sentence and then find the thesis sentence, and it's typically the first sentence and the last sentence, and see which key idea is repeated in the first sentence and then the last sentence in these paragraphs, these sample paragraphs 1 through 5, and I've done the first one for you. The keyword for number 1 that's repeated is computers, and then number 2, the keyword parents is repeated, and then you can also have synonyms. So the word wrong and then mistakes, those are synonyms. So please identify in questions 3, 4, and 5 whether there are keywords that are exactly alike or whether synonyms, terms are repeated. And then exercise 4, you need to evaluate an introductory paragraph and see if it's a good introductory paragraph, and if the elements of the paragraph are missing, the key elements, then you need to explain, and I've again done the first 2 for you. You can take a look at it there, and then please do 3 and 4. And on page 108, please turn over to page 108 with me, and you'll see that you're asking, I'm asking you here to pick just one question from questions 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6, right? Don't pick number 1. I did that one for you. I gave you a sample that makes a general statement at the beginning, then gives a bit more information, and then has a focused thesis statement as the last sentence. So I'd like you to pick one of these 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 and write a similar type paragraph. On page 110 and 111, right, you want to turn thesis statements into questions, and then give any type of topic sentences that would go into developing the developing paragraphs. So I did, again, the first 2 for you, and so I'd like you to develop a question. You have examples there, questions for number 3, 4, and 5, and then supporting ideas for each of them there. If you look at page 111 and exercise 7, here you're going to choose 2 of these different thesis statements, and I'm asking you to do some brainstorming first, and then pick 2 of the thesis statements, numbers 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8. Pick just 2 of those, and then write the number, please, down below, and the thesis statement, and then write out 3 possible topic sentences for each statement that you choose. And again, I've done a sample for you, and then made 2 spaces for you to fill in a thesis statement and then supporting ideas. On page 112 and 113, you're being asked to read these essays and answer 3 specific questions that are on the bottom of page 113. And you'll have to locate the main idea, right, and then the central or the controlling idea. And then number 2, answer the question, what are the subtopics? Right? And this is from the body paragraphs. Number 1 is the introduction paragraph. Paragraph 2 and 3 and 4 are body paragraphs or developing paragraphs, and then number 5, the 5th paragraph, is a conclusion paragraph. So I've given you parts of these 3 questions, and I want you to fill in the blanks. Page 114, 115, exercise 9, you want to read the essay and then answer questions, this time 1 through 4, that are at the top of page 115. And again, I've done the same thing. I've given you the key terms and just asking you, you should know what a main idea or a main topic is, a central idea from the previous exercise, right? And then reason 1, 2, and 3, and then specific details from paragraph 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I've done the first 2 for you with number 4. On page 116, exercise 10, you need to reread the essay, My Favorite Signs, on page 112 and 113, and then answer, again, these questions. Right, on page 116, again, right, specifically about the questions, or it's exercise 10, right? You have 3 questions. You may not even have to answer the last one if the answer is yes or no. And then page 116, 117, exercise 11. You just need to put down if the conclusion is not logical, that means it doesn't wrap up the topic, if it doesn't restate the key idea in the thesis statement, if it doesn't really have, if there are sentences that don't have to do with the developing paragraphs in ABC, then it's weak, right? So the first one is logical, it has all the good parts of a conclusion, and then the second one is weak because it introduces another topic. So these are each either going to be logical and you don't have to explain why it's logical, but if it is weak, explain specifically why. And the main reason is going to be that it introduces a different topic. Page 119 in exercise 12, you need to reread why people save books on page 114, 115, and then outline the essay. And I've done much of the outline already for you. And you'll see where the ... those are called ellipses. I'd like you to finish the sentences in those cases, and then where I've left complete blanks, I'd like you to type in the information as you reread each of the paragraphs. The number 1, right, on the Roman numeral 1 on the left-hand side, that indicates the paragraph. Roman numeral 1 and then 2 and 3, those represent paragraphs. And then A's and B's are key points, and then 1, 2s, and 3s are supporting details. So I'd like you to fill out that outline. And then finally, oh, by the way, in exercise 12, you do not have to write any conclusion. And this assignment, Module 5, ends with actually writing an essay. And I would like you to, first of all, outline your essay and follow the steps on page 120. Use all of the steps except number 7 under the questions. Again, just pick one of the questions at the top of page 120 and then follow the steps. You do not have to do number 7. First thing you need to do is to type an outline, and I would probably take a sheet of paper first and then write an outline and then type an outline from the sheet of paper. You do not have to submit the sheet of paper, just a typed outline and then write an essay. And I would like you to write at least 3 sentences in your introduction, and anywhere from I would say 5 to 6 sentences in your body paragraphs and your developing paragraphs. In those paragraphs you should have a topic sentence and then supporting ideas under that topic sentence, and then give some specific, very specific details. When you write specific details, please use capitalized names of people, places, things, and numbers, and that makes your examples very specific. Again, capitalized names of people, places, and things, and then numbers. Names would be a name like Muhammad, right? A place would be Bamiyan, and a thing would be, for example, an iPhone, right? Or a Dell computer. I have a Dell computer, right? Apple computer. Those are capitalized things, names of capitalized things. And then numbers, of course, 1, 2, 3. There's telephone numbers, there's weights, there's measurements, that lengths of time and so forth. These are all numbers and make your examples specific. So So please write the paragraph, and when you turn it in to me, I will mark it up and send it back to you. And this exercise, I'm going to ask you to rewrite the paragraph and submit it to me a second time. So, if you have any questions at all, please email me, call me, Skype me, and I'll be happy to answer any questions about, especially about writing an essay, if you're having any difficulties. So I hope you do well, and I look forward to receiving your first essays and giving you feedback.